Ready?
I'm going.
Okay, so kind of get me first. And
Okay.
this is a video on how to wrap a pan flute. You use some nylon braided fishing line. I use about, for an 8-tone flute, I use double arms and a little bit more. It's real important that you have a second piece of string waiting for the end. Okay, so you have 2 sticks. One goes across the top, the other goes across on a diagonal, and I've taken them and I've made a little flat side for it to sit on. Okay, so what you do is we're going to start by picking up first the smaller stick. I'm going to lay the string down, put my thumb over it, and wrap over the string. Keep it in place so I can move my thumb off. And that's basically what we're going to do at the end, but we're going to do it backwards. So the tricky and the hardest part of this whole game is to wrap it up on the right hand. I use my right hand because I'm right-handed, and hold it and be able to hold it tight while your left hand is free to pick up the next piece. My bamboo has a flat side and a round side, and I set the flat side against the stick because it works best. And so basically what I did was I made parallel lines on one side and X's on the other, and then I'm going to wrap it up again, and I'm going to pick up the next piece and set it up there next to it. Now I'm coming from this side, so I'm going to come across, go down across, in, back around, and up across. So I'm making X's on one side and parallel lines on the other, but you see that the string is coming from the one before it. Same thing's going to happen there. So I can hold it in one hand and I kind of balance it against my stomach. You know, it helps to have a little bit of a stomach. And do it again. And you just keep doing the same thing over and over again until you run out of tubes. And I'm just using a blank set that I haven't really worked just for this video. So you see there's no bevel on the top and they're kind of rough. I probably should have beveled the tops, but I'm just going to take it apart. And you want to get it until you get to the end. You kind of keep them straight across the top, but you can adjust them as you go, you know, after you're done. You can adjust them pretty easy. And when you get to the last one, you do the same thing until you've done it. And then what you do is you're gonna go around one more time. You're gonna come up through the toes and up and around, and so you have that line right there. Okay. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it down here, and we're gonna lay this stick up here. Okay, you got to hold on to this side because otherwise it's gonna seesaw right off of there. And you bring it down where it's not attached, and you draw it back up. Pop. And you just do the same thing over and over and over again. You bring it down through the toes, up around the end. It's not, and once you get it attached, it's a little easier because you don't have to hold it as tight. And you pull it tight, and you pull it, keep pulling it tight. Now it's important to use nylon, either braided nylon or nylon the single fiber, because nylon will stretch and then pull back on itself. This Dacron doesn't do that. Dacron doesn't stretch, and so you can make it as tight as you want, and it's going to loosen up. Okay, so now once you get the whole thing put together like this, you come around once And then what I do is I come around like that and lock it into place. And then you start wrapping this over itself. And then you take the string that you had before and you make a little loop. You lay that little loop down there and you wrap, wrap, wrap 4 or 5 times over that loop. And you take your string and you run it through the loop. You got to have better eyes than I do to do it on the first kick. I had to make that loop a little bigger. There you go. And then you come across back to the other side and you yank. And you pull that thing up underneath itself. Bop, bop. You cut it off there. I take a little clear fingernail polish and put it here and put it here. And that's pretty much it. Okay.